Hello Earthlings. I decided to do this video today because I wanted to discuss differences. That can be religion, colour, sex, all sorts of things. All of our differences, all of our beautiful differences. Now, yesterday I encountered a man who had been verbally abused, racially abused by a naive youngster who didn't know any better. And he turned around and said to this man, go back to where you came from. Now, in today's society, why is this still going round? Why is this kind of words and negative energy still going round? Now, this was in a football community, and we all know that racism in a football community is still rife, and it desperately needs changing because it impacts a lot of people's lives. Now, this man I encountered, in a sense, has inspired me to talk about this subject. I wanted to do a video about this kind of subject, but it was all going to be dictated around religions and beliefs. Everyone's different religions and beliefs, which is each to their own. But I've decided to use his negative experience as inspiration for this video today. Now, I won't go into details with it, but the short of the story is this man had been racially attacked when he was only trying to help. Now, this man does a lot for his community, supporting kids in the football industry, so he's a big role model to them. Now, obviously, he's had racial attacks for a lot of his life. I could tell he's had it hurt deep down. He put his hand on someone, on this youngster, to try and talk sense into him, not to attack him, not to get revenge on him or anything. He tried talking to him, and because of it, he was pushed out of where he was supposed to be, which was helping people, helping youngsters in his community. Now, the establishment he was pushed out from had no actual evidence of anything, so it was a he said, she said type situation with no physical proof other than this guy had stopped this youngster to say, what you're doing is wrong. I heard both sides of the story, and something in me just couldn't hold my tongue, and I had to speak up. So I butted in because he was looking to take it down a lawsuit side. He was looking to try and get justice in some sense, but we all know that the justice system doesn't necessarily work for the right reasons. You can pay lawyers all you like and solicitors, but they want your money. They don't want justice. Not for you anyway. Most of them. They're there because you're paying them to be there. That's how the system's set up, the broken system. So he was going to push it to that extent because he felt wronged that he'd been pushed out of where he's supposed to be training youngsters. And I felt obliged to butt in. Maybe I shouldn't have, maybe I should have, I don't know. But I feel I was put there by the universe because I could make a positive impact on him in some sense. Now, obviously, he's been affected. The youngster, he feels got away with it because he's still allowed to play around in that area, even though he's turned around and said to someone, go back to your own country. Now, we all know that's disgusting behaviour. We all know it. But that's been taught by an authority figure in that boy's life. And, you know, he might not feel that way deep down, but because of his societal standards around him, he's gone and said it. Even his friends apparently turned around and said, you know, that was out of order, kind of thing. So right there itself is a form of justice, or karma, if you subscribe to that, which I do. Now, I tried saying to this man, look, if you go down the lawsuit side of it and you try taking it to court, a judge will outright say to you, is there actual evidence of his words? Which there wasn't. It was all on camera, but this boy had obviously said something, but there was no audio recording, so there was no physical proof, even though multiple people around him heard him say it and didn't like what was happening. So when it comes to the law side of it, a judge will turn around and say there's no physical evidence, so it can't be proven. No matter how many witnesses you got, there's no physical proof. So obviously I've intervened and said to him this. I was like, look, I want to save you a lot of time, a lot of effort and a lot of money, because all that'll happen is you'll go through a lot of heartache. You'll have to relive the moment over and over and over again in your mind until it actually happens in a courtroom, to which the judge will turn around and say, there's no evidence, so we're going to throw this out of court. Now, I think I did get through to him. Because the guy that he was proposing this to was an authority figure of that establishment. Now, both of them was right in what they'd done, because he deserved some kind of action. To where's the discipline? Where's the outcome to his behaviour, his bad behaviour? And the person in charge of the establishment turned around and said, I can't prove it, I can't prove it, so, but you shouldn't have put your hand on the boy. I know you wasn't attacking him, but, he could then throw that back at you, kind of thing. So, I managed to push through to him, I believe, because when he walked away, I think he understood it. He was still hurt, because we've all been offended deep to our core, and we have to live it until we feel like there's justice been served. But my point of this is, regardless of the story, because deep down it's got nothing to do with me, it's got absolutely nothing to do with me, other than I want to see everyone live peacefully and together. Now, the moral of this is holding on to pain, holding on to what people have said about us or to us or done against us, actions against us, because it is wrong. We shouldn't judge each other, we shouldn't talk negative about each other, because we're all fighting for the same thing, a happy, peaceful life. That's all we're fighting for. And basically, because people have done this stuff to us, people hold on to the trauma of it. And we've all experienced it. We've all experienced heartbreaking trauma that we feel like we didn't get justice for. But karma does get served. Even behind your back, when you have no idea what's going on, karma does get served. And I basically want to say to everyone, if you're still holding on to pain and resentment and anger, you're literally hurting yourself. Because if someone feels like their negative words and opinions are right in their mind, they're going to go on and live that, aren't they? They're going to go on and live that and carry on doing that to people until karma catches up with them, and they'll say the wrong thing to the wrong person, and it'll all explode in their face. And basically, the point is, holding on to pain and anger and trauma from our enemies, so to speak, is literally like drinking poison and expecting that poison to affect the other person and hurt the other person, when all it's going to do is hurt you. That's what that pain and that anger does to everyone. That's all it does, is poison you. It poisons your heart, poisons your soul, poisons your mind. So this is basically a shout out to everyone that please let it go, because revenge, they say, is a dish best served cold, which is absolute trash. Revenge is for the broken. Now, if you've been offended, you've been hurt, you've been traumatized by someone, it takes time to heal. It does take a lot of time to heal for some people. But try and use that negative experience and heal someone else. So all that pain that you've endured needlessly, try and use that to heal someone else who will inevitably go through exactly the same problem. And in this instance, I'm referring to it as racism, because we know racism is rife, and especially in the football industry. And this is what this guy was trying to say. You know, I'm a role model for these kids, so I feel like I have to do this. I have to say this. I have to take this action. But the outcome of that action, in front of all of them kids that he's trying to inspire, will fall flat on his face because of the law system saying we don't have proof of it, so we're going to throw this out of court. And I believe I did get through to him. I believe I did get through to the guy, and he seemed like a genuinely nice guy. He seemed like a really nice guy. I don't know his name. I don't even know where he's from, and I probably won't even encounter him again. But he inspired me in a sense to do this video, because so many people out there take so much abuse from other people and they hold on to that pain. Now, if we can just take that pain and alchemize it into something positive, even if it becomes a speech like this, where it might only hit a few people, but it'll impact someone else's life positively. That's the goal I'm looking for. That's the goal that a lot of us are looking for. But because half of the world's still blind and naive and want to judge people and call people names and do horrible actions to each other, it just keeps perpetuating the same cycle of negativity, and we need to let go of it, because as soon as we let go, change happens immediately. I've experienced a lot of it myself, where I held on to pain for years, waiting and crying out to the universe, I want justice, I want justice. But justice is always served in the form of karma. So if you're going to take negative actions against someone, please think twice. Before trying to seek revenge of any kind, please use the words I'm saying as a bit of advice and inspiration, just to stop and think. So again, let go of the pain. Let go of the pain, even though it is very hard to do. Don't seek revenge in any form, because inevitably what you put out will come back to you. So that's what I wanted to say. If this does help anyone, then great. Leave a little comment or something, or even take this video and inspire someone else. You know, use my words, make your own video from it and inspire someone else to not make the same mistakes that a lot of people make by seeking revenge. That's all I really wanted to say. So thanks for watching. If you've watched the whole thing, take care and have a beautiful day.